All right, Ottawa, fall is officially here. The Blue Jays are in the playoffs. The leaves are finally changing, and so is the market. Let's talk about what actually happened in the numbers in September and what that means for buyers and sellers looking to make a move by the end of the year. In September, we saw about 1,089 homes sell. So down a little bit from August, but actually up 2.4% year over year. A decently steady month. Inventory climbed to 4,300 active listings. That's about 4 months of inventory throughout the city, condos, townhomes, and detached all combined. Condos, townhomes, and detached, that's the average across the city. Buyers are finally getting a bit of breathing room, even in some of the more competitive spaces like townhomes specifically and detached. With all this new choice, safe to say prices month over month have remained relatively flat. If you look at all three asset classes together, the average price is about $690,000. That's up just a hair from last year and basically unchanged month to month. So what's really interesting is seeing how those three asset classes are kind of behaving. Detached, if you look at the benchmark pricing year over year, it's up about 2%. Not so bad, right? That's pretty good. That's, you know, in an economy and with all this uncertainty, with the tariffs, with the trade war, I think that's relatively okay as a gain. Townhomes are the big winner, up about 8% year over year in the benchmark pricing, mainly because, and you probably heard me say this before, townhomes tend to be that entry-level space for a lot of families. Ottawa's average household income is about $129,000, give or take. With a decent down payment, that gets you into a really nice townhome, you know, anywhere in the city, let's say. So there's going to be a lot of pressure, a lot of competition in that space, and I imagine that will be kind of the white knight moving forward as well into the rest of the year and into 2026. A bit of a long-term prediction on that. If that is our white knight moving forward, inevitably the detached market will tend to benefit from that, as a lot of people in that townhome space, you know, as prices go up, equities built, people will jump up to that detached home afterwards. And condos, as I'm sure you probably saw everywhere else in the news, it's a bit of a rougher go. Ottawa has insulated the blow a little bit better than some of the major cities like Toronto and Vancouver. But if you look at the benchmark pricing year over year, it's down about 2%. All that being said, you know, there's definitely opportunity for both sides here. When I'm having a conversation with someone who's trying to sell their house, again, sounding like a broken record, it has to be priced well, it has to look the best on the street, and it will inevitably sell. Something that's overpriced and doesn't show its best is gonna sit. It's gonna accumulate days on market. It's gonna perhaps garner an unnecessary or untrue stigma. People are gonna say, what's wrong with that house? Why has it been sitting so long? And I get that question multiple times a week from different buyers that I'm working with. Tony, why has this one been up so long? And a lot of the time there's not a perfect answer other than it's likely just priced too high. Another big thing we saw in September was the rate cut by the Bank of Canada. Although it didn't throw any gasoline on a fire and blow things out of proportion and create a buying or selling frenzy, I think there's added confidence in a buyer's ability to secure a property that they're interested in. Again, it's gotta show well, it's gotta be priced well, otherwise it's not gonna move. There are rumblings of another potential cut by the end of the year and even another potential cut at the beginning of the year. Will align likely with what the Feds do in the US, and it does seem to be that that's the way they are leaning. Job numbers for Canada came out this month, actually today. We've added 60,000 new jobs, which is up from I think the 5,000 they predicted. All this being said about tariff uncertainty and trade war, it does actually seem like we've been able to weather the storm a bit better than we may have predicted. Ontario, we actually didn't add any new jobs, but it doesn't seem like we've lost a significant amount either. A lot of the status quo is continuing here, and I believe that's what we're gonna see into October, November. Now, if I'm a buyer, and people are saying to me, well, inventory is going up, you know, why haven't we found the house that we feel is right? I mean, obviously there are a lot of micro markets and niches that people are looking for in the city. Patience is a lot of the game in this. If you happen to be looking for something very particular, there are other ways our team can help you. So I encourage you to reach out to one of our agents about that, even if you're just a little bit curious. Maybe you're sitting and you're watching Realtor.ca, nothing's hitting the market. Let's have a conversation about how we can help on that. But I would caution you that, you know, I do anticipate October, November, things will slow down a little bit. And I believe, you know, we'll see a slight uptick next week. It's really important to note that most people, if they have not listed, more or less sold their home by November 15th, it's likely that they're gonna wait till the following year. And again, on the property type and where it's located in the city, that may be our advice to people that are selling. But if you're thinking about selling and you're not sure if it's the right time, again, it doesn't hurt to reach out to one of us. Let's just have the conversation about how we can approach it, whether that means listing now or getting photos to ready to list in the spring, because that's what we've done. Chris is behind the camera right now, he knows it. We've been to one a few weeks ago. We took these beautiful summer shots because we're gonna market this property in spring, and we don't wanna be taking pictures when there's wet and dirty leaves on the ground, trees aren't in bloom, it's just not gonna show the same. So if it's something you're even thinking about for the future, let's have the conversation now, because it is the prime time to do it. So in short, if you're thinking about buying, fall is kind of the sweet spot for this right now. There's less chaos, there's more choice. If you're thinking about selling, prep, price, and presentation are more important than ever. And just to wrap it up, guys, balanced, stable, but still moving. That is Ottawa's market in a nutshell for September. Reach out to us today, and we'll see you next month.
Stop.